About today what the various free filing options are through the IRS. Now, I think there's been several misconceptions that a lot of the national tax brands do offer free file, which is in fact the case, although tax situations are limited and it's based off a number of forms. Again, did do a how-to guide on TurboTax in a previous video, so you can go on ahead and check that out, as well as H&R Block had an FTC claim against them for $7 million just recently, again, for deceptive tax practices. So again, those items are not direct products with the IRS. Neither of those organizations do participate in the IRS's free file system. So I did just want to kind of go through and give you a couple options as far as filing directly with the IRS through either a third-party app or direct file with the IRS, as well as you can actually get your taxes prepared in person for free as well. There are certain requirements and certain income limits, which we'll get to here. So basically, your starting point would just be to go to the irs.gov, which is the website that we're here right now. And then you can kind of see how can we help you. And I would say click on Explore Free Filing Options. And now from here, you can kind of see, you can watch the videos on it, but there's two different versions. There's an IRS free file and there's an IRS direct file. So the free file is with partner organizations. So there's a handful of partner organizations that do participate in this particular program where you can file your state return for free as well. It is a direct link typically, and it does link up 100% with the state. So that is the one pro here. Whereas IRS direct file, again, similar to it, you can utilize the system to file your return. However, it is not as user friendly as one of these other programs. And then the third option, this one is in person. This is known as the VITA program, which is the IRS Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. So this is where tax professionals volunteer their time to prepare income tax returns for people who earned $67,000 or less, have a disability, need language support, and are age 60 and over. So now these returns will actually get prepared and filed for you. You just need to sit down, show up at where they are. They're typically in local areas, local organizations. So I'll kind of go through this first because I feel as though this one isn't always talked about as frequently as some of the other ones. So again, if you fit into one of these categories, you can just kind of go onto the website here, click on this, and then, it goes through what you need to do. It'll tell you a list of what you need to bring. So again, valid driver's license, any of these IDs will work. And then all the list of items that you need to have here for your tax return. So no different than if you're going to have your tax return prepared in person or if you're going somewhere else to have it done. The only real difference is you do need some form of identification. This is due just to prevent fraud, could prevent anybody from filing a not valid return. So just keep that in mind that you will actually need that as well as this listing of information. So we will go back here and scrolling down here. So there's a couple options here. You have the VITA tool locator as well as an AARP aid site locator. We'll just click on this one. You can also call the 800 number. And here we're just going to do 90210 as I've done in my other videos. We'll do within 5 miles. And no tax prep sites within 5 miles. So still nothing there. Again, it's probably early in the season. We'll see if we can let's see if AARP can find us something. We won't allow that. We'll say Washington, D.C. So here we go. So AARP has a few more locations here. And you can click on view results for that. So this is just in the Washington, D.C. area. We could probably actually look up Washington, D.C. zip code here just to see if we can find a specific location. Again, these areas pop up all the time, and a lot of times your news organizations do present them. They're typically on a weekend, so just kind of keep that in mind. They typically occur on a weekend. Sometimes it's during the week. As well as there's a lot of senior centers that participate and will actually file your return for free. So as you could see here, again, we have multiple options, and then here are the dates for these particular locations. So some of them go out throughout. So we typically, any major city or area will typically have these available for you, and they will prepare your return for free. Now let's go back and let's look at the other options. So let's go take a look at the free file system real quick. And again, this is how I mentioned. So this adjusted gross income is a little bit higher. It's $84,000 or less. You can choose the tax software company. Simple questions will guide you through it. There is actually Spanish-speaking items available as well. The other option is fillable forms. I wouldn't recommend this. These are a little bit more difficult because you actually have to go and manually do it. So I can kind of show you this quickly. Actually, they're not available until actually e-file opens. So I would definitely not suggest the fillable forms. I mean, you can do it. It's definitely is a manual way, but I wouldn't suggest it. So clicking on explore the free guided system, you can either browse or you can find. So if you browse, it'll pretty much give you a list of all of them, and then as well as the requirements, and then you can go to directly their website. Now these, like I said, these trusted requirements, as you could see here, majority of them, see it says free in some states. Some of them don't have free in states. So you probably want to pick the one. So this one is free in all states, which is Free Tax USA. Again, different levels for active duty military, but these are all options. So now if we go back again and we have the system find one for us, you can click on here and we will just do a married filing joint return. So we're going to see if we're eligible. The person who's the primary taxpayer, we're just going to say we're 40. And what state do you live in? We'll say United States. And then what state? Let's just say District of Columbia, as we picked one from before. And then we'll say District of Columbia. And we'll say, yes, we did receive military. Actually, we'll say, no, we didn't receive any military pay. We'll say we have wages and tips. Now, again, this is what you'll take from your W-2. Just take it from your box when you're W-2, and we'll just say we made $65,000. We'll say we have nothing else listed here, and we'll just click on next. We'll say we have one dependent. Your spouse not eligible. Okay, so this you would say we are eligible, so you would only select no as if you received something that stated that you are not eligible from the IRS in a prior year. So you'd click on next, and here are the trusted partners that it's suggesting for us based on our situation. Again, you could just browse and kind of take a look at your AGI based on what you have as far as the W-2 or anything else. Now, if you do have business income, it is going to be the net amount. So you can see that here are some of your items here that you can use. These are 100% free file. You don't have to put a credit card number or anything like that in there, so you can definitely do it from here. Now, the third option for an IRS free file is to actually use the IRS direct file, which is new, which is known as IRS direct files over here. And again, you'll check the eligibility. So let's just say we are from, District of Columbia is not on here. So let's just say we live in Arizona. And you can kind of see here, so like I was mentioning before, so the Arizona actually, it lists everything out, in, so you can see your tax situation. It shows you why it's not a good option. So if you have property tax credit, foster care, it's not a good option. And then you may still have to file a Arizona return, which you may have to do manually. So again, majority of these direct files are only good for for federal returns, and they don't always work out well for state returns. So again, similar here, you have to go to California directly to do it. If you're Connecticut, it'll direct you to Connecticut's website. So then once you file your federal return, it's not going to be an automatic. You're going to need your return. You're going to have to manually put the numbers on there. Florida, there is no state return. So again, you don't have to worry about that one. Idaho, they'll direct you to Idaho's free filing tool. So again, it seems like a lot of these items within the direct file is just going to direct you to this specific state filing tool. So again, maybe a good option for you. I prefer the software version of it just because you can do your state and everything in one. I'd also say go to the VITA location if you fit within those income limits as well. But again, if you found this video helpful or useful, please like, subscribe, and share my videos. And I hope to keep coming out with new videos to help everybody save money on their taxes.